WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Recession, depression, and unemployment. This song's for you.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, but where are my blue skies? Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright.
I'll be honest with you.
I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain fell from heaven like a shower now.
When I think how much better I'm gonna be when this is over.
I smile, even though I hurt, see I smile. I know God is working, so I smile. Even though I've been here for a while.
What you do?
I smile.
Come on and
Smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down. Sure would hate to see you give up now.
God's people.
You look so much better when you smile. So smile.
Now every day ain't gonna be perfect, but it still don't mean today don't have purpose. Come on.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night.
It ain't easy, bud.
Today's a new day, but tell me where are my blue skies?
Where is that love, y'all?
Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright.
The truth is,
I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain
that Holy Ghost power, y'all.
fell from heaven like a shower now.
Now I know we've been hurt, y'all, but still,
I smile,
come on.
even though I hurt, see I smile.
Y'all feel that?
I know God is working, so I smile. Even though I've been here for a while,
Still,
I smile.
hallelujah.
Smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down. Sure would hate to see you give up now.
God's people,
You look so much better when you smile.
let's go.
For me,
Whoa.
can you just smile for me?
Whatever you're in right now,
Smile for me.
smile.
Can you just smile for me?
And my people say,
You look so much better when you. You look so much better when you. You look so much better when you.
I say,
You look so much better when you.
and while you waiting,
You look so much better when you.
yeah, and while you praying,
You look so much better when you.
look in the mirror.
You look so much better when you.
Always remember,
You look so much better when you smile.
come on.
I almost gave up.
I almost gave
Power
up,
that I can't
but
explain.
that Holy Ghost power, y'all,
Fell from heaven
came
like
down
a
from heaven.
shower
Hardships, difficulties,
right now.
tears, storms. This is what I do.
I smile, even though I hurt. See, I smile.
But that feels good.
I know God is working, so I smile.
working.
Even though I'm in it for a while,
Still,
I smile, smile.
hallelujah.
So hard to look up when you've been down.
I know it's hard right now
Sure would hate to see you give up now.
because you're a winner.
You look so much better when you smile.
You look better.
So smile. You
Dallas,
look so much better when you
New
You
Orleans,
look so much better when you
come on, Cleveland,
You look so much better when you
Detroit,
look so much better when
yeah, Philly,
so much better when you
Jersey,
so much better when you
LA.
so much better when you
All my people say,
look so much better when you smile.
see, I just don't want you to be happy, 'cause then you gotta have something happen then. I want you to have joy, 'cause can't nobody take that from you. I see you. Smile.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Monday at 4 o'clock, so it must be the Community Bell Show. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. But the best part about today is that we're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday. It's just a wonderful celebration. For those of you who don't know, this day would not have been here had it not been for our former Congressman, John Conyers. He is the one that pushed for it, pushed for it, pushed for it. So it's because of him that we're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday today. So congratulations to all of us for being able to be here to celebrate this wonderful day. We are so pleased today to have guests with us. We have a wonderful guest, new guy for the show, but he'll be back. Glenn Prentice.
Hello. How are
Hi,
you?
Glenn. Welcome to Community Bell.
Thank you. Thanks for having
We're
me.
glad to have you today. And it's January. It's the beginning of the year, so we're going to talk about things you need to get ready for this year. You need to get ready to make sure you got a place to live, first of all.
That helps. Yep.
Need to get ready to get your credit in shape so that you can do that.
Yep.
Need to get ready to talk to people about how you get your credit in shape. So we're going to do all that today.
Good.
But first of all, we're going to talk to Glenn. Glenn Prentice, thank you for being with us.
Thank
Glenn
you.
has been around for a while. He has been involved in development and housing. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about Glenn, first of all. Talk to us, Glenn, about you.
Sure. I got in housing. Ironically, I was in Detroit in produce for 25 years. Drunk driver took me out of my profession. And long story short, in '07, I was illegally foreclosed and got into that whole realm and fighting, doing foreclosure defense and saving hundreds of families' homes. And eventually got a real estate license. I'm the worst realtor you'll ever meet as far as filling out paperwork. But I've worked the streets. My stepmother, Hattie Humphrey, she's a missionary that works the streets, and so do I. And as you know, we get together
we get together.
all the time. And I just like working the streets, and and that just led to
And you know, guys
development.
know who we're talking about. Missionary Hattie B. Humphrey. Missionary Hattie B. Humphrey.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Her beautiful hats.
Yes.
And she adopted me 3 years ago, right after my mom died, January 3 years ago, and at her birthday committee. And so I was kicking and screaming and fighting to do development in Detroit. I did not want to do it because I'd already spent 25 years and some hard times, and I finally gave up and I surrendered, and then the doors opened up. And I've been rehabbing homes ever since and helping people, and it's just, it's finally culminated with the Hans Farms over on the east side, and where Woodlands Initiative has 31 homes. There's a combined 50 we're doing, plus there's new homes going up after that. We've already started construction and development, and these homes have sat for 8 to 10 years. It's a total rehab, total strip out, all new plumbing, electrical, duct work. We are keeping as much of the home as possible, such as the hardwood floors and the in-ground, just the woodwork is stunning, and we can save that.
Some of those homes are absolutely beautiful.
They
The
are amazing.
stairways are gorgeous. The floors, the woodwork, the work around the fireplaces that have them, and they're beautiful places. And to have them torn out would be terrible.
We're
So
keeping all of it.
that's
So,
really special.
There's duplexes and single-family homes, and there's actually there were some carryover people who were living in the homes, and they knew the day would come knocking, and the one lady, she's so sweet. She and her husband, they wouldn't answer the door, and then finally I had to bring the police, and they answered the door. And 2 minutes later, I was like, get out of here. And we sat down and had a good talk, and I got their number. And so they live in a duplex, and we're going to rehab the house next to them while taking care of theirs. And they don't have to move. They've lived in the house for 50 years. The grandmother is in a nursing home, and the mother and the son still live there. So she's like 70, he's like 50, and they're working. They can afford it. But it's just like so many people in Detroit. They didn't know what to do, how to do it, and that's a lot of my job is teaching people what's up and how to do it legally and ethically.
And that's why you're here. That's why we have people on the show to give people this kind of information, because they just don't know. So it's just so special that there are people who want to help people, who want to help people stay in their homes, who want to help people understand how to stay in their homes, and then to fix them up to a standard that is a proper standard. That's the other piece. You've got some people out there doing some rehab that isn't really rehab. They're just throwing some paint on a wall and just it's horrible. And then they're charging people big money for that. You do it the right way. That's why I like working with you. And you do it the right way. I've seen your work.
Thank you. We do it well, and I mean, it's just really boils down to customer satisfaction. Customer's always right. Take care of the customer, and the word will spread. And it's not about personality. It's just about doing the right thing and treating people right. And
that's the piece.
Really,
treating people right. Treat people
the
way
others.
You want to be treated.
Do unto others as you'd have to do unto you. That's really it. And that's and it's amazing how that whole area is blossoming. It's just changing so fast. I mean, I just started in it last March, and then since March now, was that 10 months? It's dynamic.
Absolutely.
And the energy and the employees, we have employees that are working who live right there and around there. All of our employees live in the area.
That's the other important part.
All of them.
If you're going to work in a community, you need to help employ the people who live in that community and support the people who live in that community. So.
And beyond that, we have general labor guys who start out, and look, they're making $12 an hour to start. However, they can then, we take the time and we teach them the trades. So carpentry, plumbing, electric, and all that. And so they're getting on-the-job training, and then as they get trained up, then their wages move up. We have guys making $30, $40, $50 an hour. That's solid wage.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're working 6 days a week.
Can't beat it.
And that's nice. Yeah, so it's really nice. And the first homes come on the market mid-March. I'm actually going to start marketing them before March because I want to. It's called upsells, but I want to. Instead of here's the finished product, come in. What do you want? What paint colors you want? Do you want a garage? Do you want the basement finished? Do you want, what do you want? You want an extra half bath? Whatever. Before it's too late, we can put it in.
Oh, that's great.
So give people choices.
Absolutely.
And there's a shortage of homes.
And there is a shortage, and that's the other part. Well, there's a shortage that will be able to move into. There's a lot of them out there that need to be torn down, but there are a lot that could be fixed up too. Everything doesn't have to be torn down.
Correct.
That's the other part of this. But talk about where we're talking about. When you say Hans Farms, a lot of people may not know where that is. So give some street boundaries so that people understand.
Okay,
where
so
it is.
Hans Farm starts at starts at Fisher on the west side next to East Indian Village, and it goes east all the way to St. Jean, where the Chrysler assembly plant, or Fiat Chrysler, is located. And then it runs on the south from Kercheval all the way north to Mac. So it's 1 square mile. And Hans Farms, John Hans is a financial guy, bought a lot of the area. They've maintained for the last 8 years now, mowing all the lawns, tearing down blighted homes. They've invested millions in philanthropy to the elementary and middle school. And Chrysler's investing 1.5 in the high school, and for trades program, which is a great program for the kids. And then the neighborhood is, young couples are moving in, and things are working out really, really well. But it's a safe environment. You have everything you need for a thriving community. You have good housing, you have schools, and you have shopping. That's what you need for a community with kids to grow. That's what's been lacking in Detroit and a lot of areas of Detroit. you have one or two of the components, and then these young families move in, and then they have kids, and then they have to go move somewhere else to where they have what they need. But that's all here in Hans Farms.
It's all right there. Fiat Chrysler has been a big part of that.
Huge.
They have committed to the area. They're going to be helping out with a lot of the rehab in the area, a lot of helping people with the businesses in the area.
Correct.
They're going to be helping to maintain some of the vacant lots
Yep.
in the area. And people want to work and live where they work. So as Fiat Chrysler continues to build its plant, people are going to want to move in there. People
Yep.
are going to want to live where they work, and it that particular Hans Farm area ends at the MAC and the parameters you gave. But if you go, Fiat Chrysler goes all the way down to Jefferson. And so all of that is going to be prime development property.
The whole area.
The whole area is
Even
prime
north of MAC.
development. Absolutely, it's going to be prime development.
Yeah.
And the city now, I think, has put a moratorium on selling individual lots. If you want to go in there now, you have to be a developer, and you have to have a development plan that says we're going to develop this area into A, B, C, and D, whatever that is. But
Yeah,
Fiat
they've gotten pretty
Chrysler-
smart over the land bank, finally.
Yes, yes.
Took them a while to get their act
Yep,
together.
yep.
No offense, Gustav. I'm sorry.
But it makes sense. It just makes sense. And so they've got Southeastern High School over there where they've got building trades going in, and they're
Yep.
going to be, Chrysler's going to be part of the school system and helping those young people learn all those building trades.
It's what we had as a kid growing up.
Yeah,
we had
shop.
Yeah, we had,
we had shop at home
class.
ec.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
that's
now
what
they're
we
bringing
had.
it back.
They don't have that. Bringing it back, and they've got the public school, elementary school over there. But they also have the Barack Obama Educational Academy that's over there on Canfield and Montclair. They're 3 blocks from the Fiat Chrysler plant, and they have already agreed to support that school, and they put a new library in the school for
Nice.
them, and have all the new what do they call it, laptops and computers for the kids.
Good.
And they put $50,000 in school for the library. At Christmas time, they give all the kids over their Christmas gifts, and so they've adopted the school,
Good.
and they're going to be very much involved in what goes on around
Good.
that school and around that area. So the whole area is going to be really a fantastic, fantastic area. But talk about the new homes that you're talking about.
Sure.
building over there.
Well, Mike Score's the president of Hans Farms, and he and I have a great relationship. It was built on trust over time, and he's provided us an option on at least 200 lots to put up new homes. All we have to do is finish out these first few homes, show that we know what we're doing. That's a no-brainer. That's the easy part. And then we're going to be putting up new homes. I actually am meeting with East Side Planning and Development tomorrow to talk to him face-to-face about what the requirements for the new homes going up. But the new homes will be they'll be on average anywhere from 1,100 square feet to 2,500 square feet. They can be any numbers of bath and bedroom you want. They come fully done, hardwood floors or ceramic floors, granite countertops. And we're putting granite countertops in the kitchens and the houses we're doing now. So we're not just putting that laminate no, that's cheap. So we're putting in good stuff and doing it right. And the main thing is and all new plumbing to the road. I know that seems trite, but anybody who lives in Detroit knows
Plumbing to
if
the-
sewers
from
are
house
always
to the
backing up
road,
because the
sewers
tree
are.
roots have
That's
always
right.
and the clay pipes collapse, and it's a big problem in homes in Detroit.
Absolutely.
And every one of the homes we're doing
And they're
gets
clay
that.
pipes. There are still wooden pipes in
Yes.
Detroit.
Yes,
So
you're right.
People don't know that, but there are still wooden.
Yeah, isn't that
pipes.
amazing?
It's one of the oldest cities in the country. There's
Yeah.
still wooden pipes. So
Yep.
yeah, there's lots to be done.
Yeah, and so it's the biggest cost of doing these homes is not what you see, it's what you don't see.
It's underground.
Making sure there's no asbestos and making sure that there's no lead and making sure that it's safe. And a lot of people take it for granted these days. But the problem in these old neighborhoods still remain. And people need to be aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really about it.
Absolutely. The new homes.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be prefab.
Modular out of Indiana.
Not prefab, modular.
Modular out
that's
of
the word,
Indiana.
not prefab,
Yeah.
modular.
Yeah, I've done a lot of extensive study into it. The problem with constructing a new wood frame home obviously could be theft on the materials, But more importantly, the factory in Indiana that is doing this, they're built in the factory, so they're not open to weather. They're not. They're actually better built than brand new builds.
And when we talk about modular, I want you, don't think of what you would have thought about before of these little thin.
I did.
Throw 'em up. I know you did, but you didn't know. See, you didn't know what I'm about to tell you then. For those of you who know where the Brewster Projects used to be, not Brewster Projects, Jeffries Projects used to be, where the Lodge Freeway is, where all of the places are that have the names of Motown stars, Temptations Boulevard, Marvelous, those that Herb Strather built, those are modular homes. Nobody would have known that, but that's modular homes these days. That's the kind of quality they are. So that's what I want you to think of when you think of modular homes. The homes that are over there on those Temptations Boulevard and Marvin Gaye Lane and so on.
They're the same construction as a new construction. They're the same. The foundations are the same. They're not where they can be picked up and moved. They're high quality and they're wonderful and they're safe. And the beauty is, with the computers, we're going to put up by June. We're going to put up our first modular. And then from there, people can see it, touch it, feel it. And then if they want and they're interested in buying one, they can sit down with the sales reps who are going to live in the home. And they can literally design the home exactly what they want. They'll have all the samples of flooring, cabinetry, everything they want. And they can pick down to the very thing they want and then get it financed. And it's the reason I'm pushing home ownership, and I know you know this, but for the audience, so you know it, it's cheaper to own a home than it is to rent.
Yes.
And not only that, it's yours.
Exactly.
And renting, the landlord can jack up the rates. We could talk forever about landlords, but the fact, God bless them. So, but to that end, home ownership is where it's at.
Exactly.
And for family and stability, it's a must, and that's what we're providing.
Wonderful.
Fair enough?
That's fair.
Okay.
I love it.
Good.
Okay, now talk about the credit repair company.
Well, the Liber Group is a relatively new company that we started, and it bore out of what I've been doing for years, and it's a constant problem that people have bad credit, and I won't get into all the political side of it, but let's face it, it's better for people to be kept down and in their place with low credit than to rise up out of the ashes and live right. And so it's by design, and there's ways to beat it. And I got into it for the fact that, as I said, I was foreclosed a long time ago, and my credit couldn't get up. And I've been so used to paying cash since 2008. I don't have a credit card. I still don't have one. And it hurt me. So I had to get my credit fixed to boost for what I'm doing. And along that way, my eyes were opened to a lot of the games. And I just said, enough is enough. I see it firsthand on the street when people, they want to, the first question they ask me is, do I do land contracts? Yeah, I do land contracts. But that average land contract is 8 to 10%, and you're paying a ton in interest. And people are one paycheck away from defaulting. It's a much faster process to do a forfeiture action and get you out of there. And your payments, depending on how it's structured for how many years, can either be really high or it could be low and it'll never get paid. I mean, it's no way to go. But with a mortgage, you're down. You're a lot cheaper. So getting your credit repaired and boosted 100 points where you need to qualify is not hard. It takes 30, 60 days, and then you get. We can swing you right into getting the mortgage too, no problem. And then you're getting a mortgage now at 4.5% to 5%, and now you're saving hundreds of dollars a month on a payment. So you could have a brand new home or brand rehabbed home for $800 a month. Well, the average rent in Detroit is $850 and up. And if you go downtown, midtown, forget it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I mean, that's the truth,
right?
right?
That's absolutely true.
So we restore credit. Want me to give out the number? So the number to call is 734-224-4747. One more time, it's 734-224-4747. We set up a satellite office over here, and it's a simple process. It's easy to do. We put you in the system, and we get you fixed. And we also offer ongoing service so that if things get screwed up along the way, your credit's always monitored and fixed. So it's 500 down, 99 a month. That may seem like a lot, but I've seen people pay a lot more. But it's worthwhile, and I wouldn't promote something if I didn't do it myself. I always walk through the gate, and I did it myself, my own money, my own time, and I made sure it works, and it works well. The only thing people have to do is respond to the emails that they get. They get a portal they get access right to a portal to see exactly what's going on with their credit, and it's all handled.
Okay.
And all we're doing is putting you in touch with the company that handles it.
Okay.
That's all we're doing. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, good.
I love it.
I could sit here for 2 hours.
I
You
know.
can pick my
it's-
brain
it's
forever.
Well, you'll be back. You'll be
Okay.
back because
All
we're going to
right.
have you back as we get these homes developed and.
What I
people are
should do is
starting to
get you
move in.
pictures.
That's right. Get us some pictures,
I'll
but
get
we're
you.
going to have you back as we do that and,
Okay.
and to talk about how it's going and
We'll show you how it works.
time to come and look at some homes if you want to buy a house. They're ready, and when it's time for the modular home to be put up and have people
We'll
look
show.
at it, we'll show.
Okay. And if they want to ever get a hold of me, they can get a hold of you through the show, right?
Absolutely.
You have my cell
I
number.
gotcha.
I talk to everybody every day.
Yes.
So no problem.
I love it.
I'm a butterfly, social butterfly. Give me a hug.
Awesome.
Thank you.
so much. I'm so glad
Thank
you
you.
come. We'll have you back.
you.
Everybody, Glenn Prentice,
Thank you, everybody.
we're glad you came for us. After this message, we're going to come back with some other young ladies. We're going to talk more about fixing that credit.
Good.
And how you
that?
do that, and
Cool.
how you get involved in planning your year and your budget, and who you talk to about getting finances, because that's what she does. She does all that finance stuff and writing loans.
Did I
and
give you my
stuff.
wife's phone number?
Oh, stop.
sorry.
Leave her alone.
She knows my wife.
Leave her alone. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us.
Take care.
Okay, so
Are we
take
off the
care.
air?
We're not off the air yet.
Oh.
We'll be off in just a second, so you can sit there and smile and keep
Hi.
talking.
Come on. Yeah. If you want it all back, jump to your feet right now. Oh! For the kingdom suffereth violence, but the violent take it by force. Let's go. Yeah. We're gonna
We're back. We just finished talking to Mr. Glenn Prentice. We talked about housing and development and credit repair and everybody getting ready to get a house for this year. Now we've got two wonderful ladies, Crystal and Yvette. They've been here before. You remember them. They're going to talk about how to get the house. Now, once you see the house that you want, how are you going to get it? What are you going to do? Well, here at the Community Bell Show, we tell you those kinds of things. So on WVTC, we talk about the information you need to have. That's all we do is give you information you really need to have to make your life a whole lot better. So now, Crystal and Yvette, welcome back to the Community Bell Show. Happy New Year. We're glad to have you back. It's the beginning of the year, and we're going to get people ready to make this a wonderful year for them.
Yes.
Crystal?
Yes, ma'am.
For those who didn't see you the first time, talk about you.
So I am Crystal Gunn. I am a mortgage loan officer, financial literacy coach, and founder of an organization called the Amazing Woman Network.
All right. And Crystal, where'd you grow up?
Detroit.
All right.
Oh, Cass Tech.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Another one of those. It's all right. I got some of those in my family.
Yes,
so it's
yes,
okay.
yes. Born and raised Detroit.
Yes. Yvette, how about you?
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I was born and raised in Detroit.
All right.
I have a background in real estate, and for the last 6 years, I've been doing housing counseling, which I love.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at today.
All righty. So we've got a housing counselor, and we've got a real estate person, and we have a person in finance. So once you go to the housing counselor and she talks to you about housing and how to get that house and what you need to do, then you go to the finance person
To get the house.
and then you get the house because
right.
she's going to help you get that house, do the right things on those forms so she knows what to put on the form. And she's going to help you with those forms because those forms can be a little bit challenging. So
Yes.
she's going to help you with that. Okay, what are you doing now, Crystal?
So it is the beginning of the year, right? And it's tax season.
Yes.
It is tax season, and some people are going to get some really nice size refunds. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on what you can do with those tax refund
Very good.
money.
Okay.
So first thing to do is take a couple $100s. We know if we get money, we want to spend it, right? Take a couple $100, spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. Get that out of your system,
All right.
right? Get it out of your system. But the second thing is because we are in such interesting times, right?
That is true.
We
That
are in
is
such
probably an
interesting times.
understatement.
It is. That everybody needs to have cash in their house, right? So I'm saying, a few $100, $300, $400, $500, take it, small bills, ones, fives, tens. Have cash in your house because we've seen the debit card system go down.
Yes.
Right, we've seen them testing, right? We've seen that happen, and just with everything, the lights go out. So you never know when you're going to need cash, and you can't use that
card.
that debit card, right? Also, because again, crazy stuff happening in the world, and now you have this extra money, so to speak. Get you a food supply, water in your house, right? Bottled water. I'm also a wellness advocate, so I'm not a big fan of prepackaged food. However, get some canned food, some crackers, some cereal, some things that you can eat if that power goes out and you can't get to the market. And
Exactly.
Right. So then also, it's the perfect time to work on your credit. We just talked about it before. It's a perfect time to work on your credit, to repair, rebuild, restore, enhance, improve.
Just get.
all of
Just get.
all of that.
For those who don't
It
have,
is a
just get.
perfect time to build your credit. And people don't really and truly understand the power of credit, right? So, I have people who call for a mortgage and they say, "Oh, well, I just got a card last week." And I said, "Well, because you got a card doesn't mean you can get a mortgage." Right? And so that credit is, or that good credit would be the difference between that 22% interest on that car loan, right? And that 4, 5, or 6% interest from your bank or your credit union. And then buy a house. Use the refund money to buy a house.
Okay.
Anybody that comes to me, I never leave any money on the table. If it's down payment assistance, I'm going to try to get it for you. However, depending upon how much house you're buying and or if you can qualify for down payment assistance, that tax refund money, right?
Can be your backup.
Can be your backup. Plus,
Before you leave that,
Yes.
talk about down payment assistance money because people don't know about it, first of all, and don't understand it, secondly. So talk about that.
Right. So MISTA has $7,500. MISTA, Michigan State Housing and Development Authority. They have $7,500 available to cover your down payment and your closing costs, right? And those closing costs being bank and title fees, plus your homeowner's insurance and setting up your escrow account, right?
Okay.
They will pay up to $7,500 for that. You're responsible for 1% in the deal. So if it's a $100,000 purchase, you're responsible for $1,000. They will pay everything else.
How do you get to qualify for that?
So you have to have taken a home buyer education course, right? And Miss Yovette can help you with that. And they require a 640 credit score.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that your credit is where it needs to be in order to do that. And also Miss Yovette can help you with that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not technically free money, so they're going to put a lien on your house for as long as you're in the house.
Okay.
But it is a loan from MISTA, but there is no interest, so it's a 0% interest loan. And also the other thing that happens is every once in a while there's grant money that comes out. Grant money you don't have to pay back, right?
That's a good thing.
It's a great
We like
thing.
that kind of, that's good money. We like that kind of money.
And MISTA recently had a $15,000 grant
Oh, wow.
available, right? Right. A $15,000 grant available
That you didn't have to pay back.
that you did not have to pay back.
All you had to do was qualify.
All you had to do was qualify.
Oh, my.
All
How
you had
many
to do was
people knew
qualify.
about that?
So
How
everybody
many
that
of
worked with
my
me.
people knew about that?
Everybody that worked with us knew about that.
Okay.
And think
Okay.
about it. So it's going to cover your down payment and closing costs, and whatever's
Oh.
left goes to write down the principal balance of your
Oh,
loan.
my.
Right. So that's and the thing about grant
That's
funds
incredible.
is they don't come around often, and when they come, people go through the money really quickly. So you can't get ready. You have to already be credit ready.
All right. You
Right.
got to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes,
All right.
start a savings account. I
Okay.
know that seems pretty elementary, but you would be surprised.
There are folks who do that.
Start a savings account. Go to another financial institution from where you bank on a regular basis and start that savings account. Then go back to your HR, or most companies now you can do it online, and change your direct deposit to start putting a little bit of money in there
savings account.
every single savings account, every single pay period. And open a custodial account for your children.
Okay.
Or your grandchildren. If you have young kids, you can go to, Fidelity, Schwab, any of those companies, and open it. You can actually open it with no money.
Okay. Now tell people what a custodial account is.
And so what you really want to do is, it's a way that you can get the assets from you to your children, right? And so wealthy people typically, when a child is born, they'll take a large sum of money and put it in an account, right? And it starts to grow, and they just keep growing and adding to that account until that child is 21, right? We don't do that in our community, right? So think about it, where we may not have $100,000 to put in a custodial account for our child. We could start with $100, right? And keep adding to it. So where that child turns 21, they may not have $1 million in an account, but God, if they had $20,000, if they had $50,000, right?
Absolutely.
That's going to put them a few steps ahead of
Now,
everybody else.
that custodial account, who pays taxes on it?
Oh, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that.
You're going to answer next time you come back. So
Or
you
you
will be back.
you're gonna have your financial. Everybody needs a financial planner. You're gonna call and you're gonna ask your financial planner who pays the taxes on that account. But it's a great way to start putting some money. And depending upon what state you're in, determines how that transfer tax happens.
Okay.
Right. So it becomes that state law piece. So we definitely want to open up a custodial account. Start a business. Right. Take your money and start a business. The majority of the people, especially in our community, are already doing something on the side.
It's true.
Right.
Everybody
You're
got a
doing
side hustle.
something on the
He's
side.
doing something.
Take that side hustle, right, and turn it into a real business. You don't have to scale it to say you're gonna have 15 employees, but turn it into a business. True story. Was talking to a lady who worked a job and then did a part-time job, right? Part-time job, was at night. Now she's driving through 6 cities, right, to get to this part-time job, which is not paying a lot of money anyway. But she makes the best sweets, cakes, and things of that nature. And I said, wait a minute. Why would you drive through all of the where, you know, that part-time income is being eaten up in that job? Why not just sell some more of your goodies, right? You got $200 that you need to get your car fixed. How many cakes do you have to sell, right, to do this
car fixed.
to this car fix? So my brother and I have a phrase where we say you can print your own money, and that's how you print your own money. You don't have to go punch a clock for that. You can go do it. So now is a perfect time to take that tax refund money, do what you need to do to start that business. And again, there's extra benefits in having a home-based business, tax benefits. So we want to make sure that we do that. Invest in you. Oh my God. Take some classes, some courses, some workshops, learn something new. Right? Because you learn something new, guess what? You can make some more money, right?
All right, all right.
Or you can take that business to another level because you've learned a new skill. And
Or you can just feel better about you.
How about that?
I mean, you know, that would be always a wonderful thing. Just learn. So guess what I know now.
Guess what?
Right.
Guess what I know. Let me tell you something. It's a
Exactly.
wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
You feel good about you.
And the last one I'm going to say, and I'm going to speak directly to the women, right? You have to take care of you. Right? We take care of everybody else. You have to take care of you. So there's this whole, you know, self-care, self-love movement, right? And I always say the one thing that we don't see in the self-care, self-love movement is financial, that you've gotten your finances in place, right? So I'm a big proponent and advocate of that. But take that time and do that, because we have women staying in situations because they cannot financially leave those situations,
That's right.
right?
That's
We
right.
are the first teachers of our children, so we have to make sure that they get those lessons. So
Yes.
just a few things you can do with your tax
I
money.
love it. Did you guys get all that? Did you get all that?
Did you get all that?
Did you
Just a
get
few
all that?
things that
Just
you
a
can
few
do.
things you can do.
Yes.
Just a few things. Yvette, now that she's talked about the finances, talk about how you get them ready to get to her. Because they got to get to you before they can get to her.
Right.
Yes, please.
I just want to say this. You see why I love her. She's my financial guru.
Yes, yes.
In order for housing counseling is so important, one of the main things is what's happening here today is education.
Yes.
That is so important. When you know better, you do better. You know, and in housing, like Crystal was saying, that a lot of time, well, I'll say this, that we have to go back to the basics. You know, our grandparents used to hide money under the mattress. You know, they didn't worry about the
coffee
bank
shop.
shutting
Coffee
down.
shop.
You know, they had a side hustle that was going on, that was keeping finances going while, you know, the regular job was going on. So we have to get back to basics, and that's in housing. That's in financial, that's in everything. We have to get back to basics. And in a lot of times when I talk to clients, over 98% of them have not been taught what Crystal is talking about right now, the finances. A lot of, I'll say 80% or more did not grow up in a family home. They don't know what it means, the importance of having a family home. And that's so important. You know, when the crash came, and, you know, I've experienced it myself, you know, being foreclosed upon. I was the first person in my family to own a property. My mother didn't own a property, but I was the first person to own a property. And in owning that, and just think how it felt, you know, when I lost that home. So that's why my passion is to into housing counseling, because I really am determined to educate people on, number one, how to get in a home, and then how to keep it, which is so important.
I'll stay there once you get there.
Right. And it's the simple things. You know, a lot of times we think, you know, you got to have a lot of money in the bank or things like that. But like she was saying, there's grants out here that are available. There are down payment assistance programs that are available, and you learn that through a housing counselor. Housing counselor is your first place that you want to go, whether you're looking to purchase a home, if you're having problems staying in your home. It's so important. The loss mitigation is so important, like you were talking about, knowing how to fill out those forms. The forms are very important, and you need a professional. You need somebody that knows how
what
to
the
fill out
answer
those
is
forms.
on that line.
Right.
Right, exactly. The correct
The
answer.
answer isn't
correct
always
answer.
what you
The
think
correct
it is.
answer.
You need to know what the right answer
And
is.
that wrong answer can kill the deal.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You need to know what the right answer
Right.
is on the line.
Right, and I'll say this quickly, is that when people come into the office, the first thing they do, they'll outline. I had one guy, remember the guy, I had one guy, he had over $7,000 worth of debt on paper. And he was trying to keep his home. I'm like, okay, we can't put all of that down, and you're trying to keep your home. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people, when they come in the office, they think that if they give you the horror story,
Right.
you know, and make it this big story,
That's
that
gonna be
will
good
work
for 'em,
for
right.
them.
Not
It works
always.
against
Sometimes
you.
it works against them.
So just having somebody that knows what they're looking at and how to present you to to a company.
Important.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got that? What's your number, Yvette? How can they reach you, counselor? They need
Okay.
you.
And my number is 833-313, a lot of people think it's turnaround, 313-4827, and that's United Community Housing Solutions.
Say it again, the number.
Again, that number is 833-31-4827.
You missed the three.
I know.
What was that again?
833-313-4827.
Okay, got it. And if they need to come see you, is there a place they can come see you?
I'd rather they call me right
Okay.
now. Yeah, we're working
And
on
then
that.
you'll work that out
Yes,
for them. Okay.
uh-huh.
Crystal, how can they get to you?
313-410-8260.
Got that,
Again.
everybody?
313-410-8260.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You've
you.
been
Thank
so
you,
wonderful.
Edna.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
And as we talk about housing and staying in your house,
Yes.
you know I can't leave the show without talking about the census.
That's right.
That's right.
Please.
Yes, yes, definitely.
I got 2 minutes.
Yes.
I need to tell you guys, you got to
Got
fill
to.
out that
have
census
to.
form.
Got
We're
to.
into 2020 now. We talked about this all through 2019.
We sure did.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. The first place has already been counted. It's in Alaska. That's always the first place to be counted. Small little town in Alaska. And they have to do it early because their weather is so different that they can't get to them, so they have to get them early. First place Alaska, being counted right now.
Okay.
But we're coming up, gang. You've got to be counted.
Got to be.
That money they talked about, those loan dollars that could come to you, they're not coming if they don't have enough people.
If we
That's
don't
true.
have enough people.
That money won't be coming. So be sure that you get ready to fill out those census forms. And if mom and them got the baby for 6 months and you got the baby for 6 months, I don't care where you put the baby,
Right.
but put the
Put the
baby
baby
somewhere.
on there, right,
Put the baby
right.
in somebody's house.
Right.
So if mom and them got it, maybe 7 months mom and them got it. Put it in mama's house.
Put it in mama's
Right.
But put the baby
Put the baby
someplace.
on there.
Children under a year are the least counted in the whole census.
Wow.
They are the very least counted because people just don't even think about the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Count the baby.
Count
The baby needs health care.
Yes.
Yes.
The baby needs education.
Education.
The baby needs Head Start. The baby needs food.
Oh, yes.
The baby needs doctors. All those things are determined by the number of people that are counted. That's how we get the money. Thank you so much for being with us. You knew I was going to talk about the census. You knew I was going to talk about the census. You know I'm not going to let you go without
Good.
talking about the census. Thank you so
important.
much for being with us. Shout out to my good friend Charlie Primus, who passed last week. Charlie's funeral is tomorrow. And for those of you who don't know Charlie Primus was one of the Coleman young folk who had city residence up on Livernois and 7 Mile. That's where all of the old folks would go and cut deals and talk politics. But Charlie Primus was a wonderful person, was a deacon at my church, New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church. Charlie was a graduate of Wayne State University, all-star basketball player at Wayne State University. Charlie did so many, many wonderful things. Started the Miller High School reunion. Charlie went to Miller High School. So for those of you who knew Charlie, and if you didn't know Charlie, pray for the family. He was a wonderful man, one of our icons. His funeral's tomorrow at New Prospect, tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
It's been
you.
the Community Bell Show with my guests, Crystal and Yvette.
Thank you.
They'll be back later in the year because you're going to have some questions. I know about that. Those monies to get.
And we're going to get some
Yeah,
houses.
and we're gonna get, and we got some houses coming up.
Right.
We'll see you next week, 4 o'clock, Community Bell Show. Thanks for being with us. WVTC Gospel Detroit. No place like it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast is brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.